Every once in a while, you meet someone who makes you question everything you thought you knew about building a life. Someone who doesn't fit into a single box, who's lived what feels like 9 different lives, and somehow, against all conventional wisdom, has made it work. Today's guest is one of those people. I'm going to call you by your name.
Okay.
Petrit.
Petrit, yeah.
Petrit is a new friend here in Buenos Aires, and every time I talk to him, I learn something new. A different chapter of his life I didn't know existed, a different version of himself he's been. So, if I'm correct, he's been a chef, an author of a cookbook, a charcuterie artist who pioneered those elaborate, beautiful boards before they were everywhere. He's been an Uber driver.
Uh-huh.
He's worked in experiential marketing, helping major brands. Can I name them?
Yeah.
Like Disney.
Yeah.
Bring stories to life through immersive experiences. He also helps people pitch their ideas, their movies, their visions, their brands, and he's obsessed with design, with fonts, with the way a space feels. He's even operated an elevator.
Yeah.
That is insane to me. Can we just take a pause and talk about that for a second?
Yeah. Like
I
white glove, hat, suit. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is freaking crazy.
Yeah, it's how the other half lived.
Okay, that person. So
Yes.
now I understand. I thought you were like some technical guru
Oh,
in
no,
the
no,
background
sorry.
in an office being like, okay,
No,
this
no.
person needs help now.
No. I'm literally just in the box for 8 hours.
Okay, so going back to all of these things that I was saying about all the many lives that you have lived,
Mhm.
I think what strikes me the most is that someone like Petrit is not afraid, it seems, to start over, to walk away from something he's built and begin again, to grind, to work, and to reinvent. And he told me something once the other day, which kind of really provoked some thoughts. And he told me, don't pursue your passion. It will make you poor.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, he was like that. So today we're going to unpack all of these things about his many different careers, about his different advice, and what he thinks, like, he wish he knew when he was my age, maybe. Today we're not going to talk specifically into careers or success, but we're going to talk about reinvention and what it means to live multiple lives within one lifestyle, and the courage it takes to start over, and the wisdom that comes from refusing to stay the same. Petrit, welcome to In Progress.
Thank you
so much for
Thank
being
you. It's
here.
great to be here.
Do you want to talk a little bit about like all these things I've mentioned of
Mhm.
like chronologically, like where did it start, or
Yeah. I think it all started, I think, when I was young. I grew up very, very poor. But I lived in a very wealthy area in New York, very poor. So I saw the possibilities of what wealth and money can bring to you, and like the comforts of
Yeah.
like living in a beautiful home, having doorman, having elevator man, having all that stuff. And I always wondered when I was younger, how do you get that? Like, how can you become wealthy like that? A couple of things which people don't realize is a lot of it is generational wealth. A lot of it, people get the money handed down to them.
yeah,
And some of it is like hard work. But the people that are working hard are not like pursuing their passions. They're pursuing things that generate money for them. So whether that's in finance, in tech, or real estate, something where they've obviously become experts and really good at what they're doing because they have the money to afford to live in these places. But nobody's like building a bakery, playing guitar. Like, that's the passion that they do on the weekends, or they bake cupcakes for their friends. But in terms of money, it's they're following what they're good at.
have you ever thought of following your passion? Did you ever in your life?
Yeah, like I spent most of my early career like focused on following my passion, which is like food and entertaining, and that just for 20 years was just a bumpy ride because it's just also there's a lot of luck involved, right? Like how did like you see somebody who's not as talented as you become more successful than you, and you're like,
Yeah.
how does that happen?
Yeah.
And that's luck. That
Yeah.
really is luck, being at the right place at the right time. Does it happen to everybody? No.
I guess for many years of my life that I saw, career as a vehicle to live the life that I want to live, to be able to live in, to be able to have the physical freedom, time freedom, autonomy,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and to be able to choose my hours and then focus on different parts of the pie of my
Right.
life, and focus on having really good hobbies, having really good communities, building da da da. And it's pretty much what you were saying too. Like, I wasn't, focused on pursuing my passion. It's just, I guess this has arrived right now when I'm in a period of transition and I'm thinking, okay, I want more fulfillment. I want more
Yeah.
purpose in my life.
I think it's also important when you have times like this, it's also to try things, right? Like
Yeah.
really try things that like you've thought of. Like I'm also like I'm a doer. So like anything I think of, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do that and I'll do it.
Yeah, I guess from everything you've told me, what what stuck with me is like pursuing what you're good at,
Yeah.
what you're really good at. And, I've been reflecting a lot on self-worth as well, and that
Hmm.
it's so important to have that in your career and doing what you're good at. So, yeah, that is food for thought for me. And also I heard a friend of mine was like, competence is confidence,
Hmm.
which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It really that will really bring you the joy and fulfillment in your life if you focus on something you're competent in
Yeah.
and really like
Yeah.
do a good job. That will bring you
Yeah.
fulfillment.
Okay. This leads me perfectly to like this question. I find so intriguing about you. So most people are terrified of starting over,
Hmm.
but you've done it multiple
Multiple times,
times.
yeah.
What makes you willing to walk away from something you've built and begin again?
I think you got to be unreasonable, which is everyone always wants to be reasonable, right? Like, what's the reasonable decision or what's the reasonable choice? You have to be unreasonable, meaning whatever choice you're making, don't add any reason to it, right? When you start adding like reasonings, that's what's going to hold you back. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, like I shouldn't do this, or maybe I should do this, or maybe it's because of that. That's going to hold you back. If
Mm-hmm.
you're just like, I got to do it, and you just jump in and do it.
Yeah.
I'm not a religious person at all,
Yeah.
but there's a story in the Bible of Moses. You know this Moses, what he did, where he was freeing the people and he parted the Red Sea, and he let them all escape Egypt and cross over. That's the story people hear, but in the Bible, Moses said, "Get in the water and cross the Red Sea," and he didn't part the Red Sea until they were up to here drowning. That's when he parted the sea. So people think like, oh yeah, he parts the sea, you just walk across. No, he was like, get in the water and try to part the Red Sea and try to cross the sea. And once the people were drowning, that's when he parted the sea. So you really have to just go in there and really just like drown, and that's when the sea will part for you.
Oh my God, I have like chills.
It's true though. Think about it. Like you really have to go in there and do it. You have to get in the water.
That
You
makes so
know?
much sense.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, what is this key part of the Bible that people have left out of such a
Yeah.
famous story?
Because it sounds more like a hero. Like yeah, he's part of the Red Sea, and Moses is the hero. It's like no, the people are the hero. But the
That's more
people, yeah,
important.
the people took the
The
chance. They
drowning is
went
more
in. Yeah.
important.
So it's like
Okay.
really you have to just like. So I actually like that, and I like the struggle, and it actually motivates me like to actually like get in there, try to solve a problem, do something. And it's been times where I'm drowning, and then
Yeah.
there's also times where it's like I wish I had a lifeline, or I wish someone would part the sea.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always happen, but when it doesn't happen, that's when you know you need to pack up and
Yeah.
get a boat and get out of there.
I mean, when you were, saying be unreasonable,
Yeah,
that one, I was like, is he talking about intuition at all? Is he talking about just, I feel it, I'm going to do it?
yeah. That's how I feel. I feel like I feel that I'm going to do it, but the other thing too is like when people are like, yeah, it's going to work out. It doesn't always work out, and that's the I think the hard thing was when you stay stuck. Like it has to work out. It has to. I've told all my friends about it. That's all I talk about. Like everyone's waiting. Everyone wants this from me. Everyone says it's a great idea. It's not always a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you learn to like, all right, I need to end this and pivot really fast or do something else, and that's totally fine. I had to shut down my catering company in COVID. And to this day, 5, 6 years later, people are like, oh, you should open it up again. You should do it. I'm like, no, like, I don't want to do that again. Like, my life has changed. I've
Mm-hmm.
had to shut it down. And now I've discovered a whole new world that I actually really enjoy and I really am successful at and I really want to pursue.
So right now, you're in the space of doing experiential
Mm-hmm.
marketing, working with all these amazing brands,
Mm-hmm.
and then also doing like the pitch stuff on the
Mm-hmm.
side, which is super cool
Yeah.
that you've arrived at this kind of really creative
Yeah. Yeah.
place in your life. Um, can you tell us a little bit more about experiential marketing? What is it for someone who doesn't know?
Yeah.
And
So it's really like, how do you connect an emotion and a feeling to a brand? Doing a puzzle, doing an event, doing something custom for them at the event or something like that. Like, that's really what experiential, like, what is the experience that you could connect with the brand
Mhm.
to create that connection, that part of it.
That's so cool. It's like I feel like I've never heard of this job. I mean, I should have thought about it, like obviously.
Yeah, we all should have. Yeah, it would have been
But
great.
I haven't thought about it until I met you and you're doing
Yeah.
it, you know?
So the funny thing is, it's something like I never heard of either. And I was looking for work. I was struggling, and then I went through like a recruitment agency as like a temporary designer. Like, oh, can you go to this agency? And I went, and I was like, what is this world that I've never seen before?
Mhm.
And it was kind of like really, really cool. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like maybe I'll like try to get a job here, and I did. And then
Yeah.
that's kind of like how it fell into it. But it's like I was open to the possibility of trying something new.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about your pitching company.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I'm intrigued. I
Yeah.
feel like it's so cool
Yeah.
that you help people pitch because I myself that have, you know, thoughts on what I want to create and all of that. And I'm so scared of
Mm-hmm.
the pitching part.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think makes a good pitch?
What makes a good pitch?
What makes a pitch land?
What makes a pitch land is people want to tell this whole story. Nobody cares, right? Like, if you're pitching something, that means you want money for something. And to get people to give you money, what do they want? They want something in return,
Right.
which is more money.
Mm.
So you need to tell them,
It's as simple as that.
it's so simple, right? Like, you need to show somebody, like, how is this going to make money for them? What they're looking at is, sometimes when a lot of people pitches, how it's going to make me money.
Mhm.
I don't want to make you money.
Mhm.
I don't want to give you my hard-earned money to make you money.
Yeah.
I want to give you money to make me money.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the thing. Like, you got to show the numbers, you got to show the facts, you got to show the data. Very easy, very simple. Like, you look at pitches like for Airbnb and Uber, they're so simple, and it looks like a kid designed it or wrote it. Like, it's like very, very simple. Like, you just need to show them what this is going to do for them, how it's going to make them money. That is the most important part. It's all about money.
What do you mean pitch for Airbnb?
Like, if you look at their early pitch decks when they were going to investors,
Oh, yeah.
very simple. Like, I get people who want to tell the story of their lives and all this stuff and how they came up with the idea. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, especially in the capitalistic market. Like, people want money.
Mhm.
So if you want me to give you money, you better show me in that pitch how you're going to get me money.
Mhm. So, do businesses come to you and say, "Hey, I'm gonna pitch this.
Mm-hmm.
Help me with the deck and help me do the strategy for pitching this."
Okay, so normally they have all that, like the strategy and what they want. Like, they're really into the business, whatever it is.
Okay.
So they'll come to me, and a part of it is too, like, I'll read it, and I'm like, this makes no sense. Like,
Yeah.
so I'll give them alternatives, like maybe clarify this, maybe make it simpler, maybe make it more graphical, like
Yeah.
show them like something else. It's also, some people just like word vomit. They just like want to put like a million words on a slide, or they just want to talk. It's like, you're going to lose them in 2 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
get to the numbers, get to the facts, get to the data. Like, that's what they want to see.
Okay. I'm gonna challenge you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you are constantly in a room and saying, "Okay, I'm the pitching expert. You should do this. You should take this out. This, you should clarify this," but you're not in the room of the person making the pitch, how do you know that your advice works?
Yeah. Sometimes they don't even want to hear my advice. They just want to clean up. Like, they have their own experts, they have their own strategy. But it turns out, like, when I'm reading, so what I do as the pitch expert is I'll give them exactly what they want, but then I'll also give them an alternative. Like, maybe we could say it like this. Maybe we could shorten this out a little bit. Maybe get rid of this. Like, do we really need
Yeah.
5 pages of history on whatever it is you're pitching.
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of like, but a lot of people are like, don't worry about it, just design it out for us,
Yeah.
and that's totally fine too.
If you had to give advice to someone in the 30s,
Mm-hmm.
what do you wish you knew?
One thing I learned in my 30s, because I went through it in my 20s, I worked for some really crazy people who like took advantage or, like abusive or like narcissistic and like being stuck in that. And in my 30s, I realized you have to stick up for yourself. Nobody will advocate more for you than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's setting boundaries at work, whether it's getting a raise, whether it's getting more money, nobody will do it but you. And you
Yeah.
have to stay firm on that. Just like a small example, but this applies to everything in my life. I was in my 30s, I was in Los Angeles. I needed money. I got a job as like someone's personal assistant, like in her house. And she was really tight, like when we were negotiating the salary, like, I mean, it was small. It was like an hourly rate kind of thing. So she needed help with like organizing and like some computer work. And I was like, great, I'll do that every day, 4 hours a day. And then one day I'm there and she's like, oh, she's like, I didn't cook dinner for my kids. I was like, oh, I said, do you have an idea? She's like, do you know how to cook? I was like, yeah, I know how to cook. She's like, oh, can you help me? I was like, sure. So I helped her make dinner. Like it was like in a crock pot or something. Then the next day she was like, the kids loved the food. It was amazing. I was like, oh, I'm glad. And she's like, let's do something tonight. I was like, sure. I was like, just want to talk to you about something. When you hired me, it was for these skills, this job at this price. I was like, this is now you're adding something else that's a different skill set.
Yeah.
Do you want to negotiate? And she said no. And I said, okay. So then she was like, do you want to help me with dinner? I was like, no. Like, no. Like, it's literally, because what happens is people will bring you in for something
Yeah.
and they see that you could do something else and they'll exploit you on that. And don't let them do that.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to them and say, like, this is a different skill set. This is not what we agreed on. Can we renegotiate? What I do all the time is like, so when I have the pitch business, people will say like, oh, can you do, I'm making this up, but like, oh, can you also do like a banner? Can you do that? I'm like, sure, no problem. I'll do it one time and do it great. And then when they ask you the second time, that's when you hit them and say like, look, this is what we agreed on. This is what we negotiated. This is the job. You're asking me to do something else.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the rate again?
Wow.
Yeah, I always do that. Always do that. So people will say like, oh, like do you just do pitches? That's what I use to get into the company and to get in there, because then they love the work.
So that's your pitch.
Yeah, that's kind of my pitch. But they love the work, and then like something will happen. It always happens where a company will ask you to do something that's not your job, or that's like extra.
Yeah.
Do it one time, and do it great. Do it
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
And then when they ask you again, that's when you say like, look, this is not really my job. Can we do this? And a lot of times they'll give you the money. Every year, every job I work for, every year I raise my prices or I renegotiate. And if it's too much for them, no problem.
Okay. I feel like what I see in you is what I super admire is the abundance
Uh-huh.
in your mindset about careers.
Yeah.
And I feel like in there too, there's a lot of resilience.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There's also like some anger, some bitterness. Like it's all like a whole thing. Because I know what companies, what people will do to you for money.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to get your piece of the pie. And you have to fight for it. And nobody will fight for it better than you.
Yeah.
And you have to stay firm. And you have to, there's jobs. I had a job once where I took the job, we negotiated the salary, and like 6 months into it, it was not the job that they hired me for. Was the job, but it was more hours, nights, weekends. And I straight up went to HR. I said, this is not what I signed up for. I was like, you told me this was like a chill job, like it was a cool team. I was like, I'm working nights and weekends. I was like, I need a raise. And I think I got like a 30% raise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I said, you have to go to CEO and CFO. I was like, because this is not like the job I signed up for. I said, like, I left a really good job for this job. I was
Yeah.
like, it's not what you guys pitched to me. And the
Yeah.
CEO felt bad and she gave me a 30% raise. Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
Always ask for it. And always, the other thing too is a lot of people will tell you, like, oh, yeah, yeah, okay, well, we'll look into it. Get timing, deadlines. Like, when is this going to happen? When are you going to get back to me? When am I going to do this? I need a decision.
Yeah.
And you have to be ready to, like, walk. Like, that's the thing. You have to be ready to walk.
Have you ever threatened to walk when you didn't want to walk?
You know, no. Have I ever threatened to walk? Oh, yeah, actually, I have. Have I ever threatened to walk when I didn't want to walk?
As in, like, been in a situation where it's just like you didn't get what you want. You're like, okay, I'm going now, and then you're just like, fuck.
No, no, that's never
No.
happened. What has happened actually was I was working at this company and I wanted a raise, and they were like, "Are you going to leave if you don't get the raise?" And I was like, "Yes." I was scared, very scared, but I said 2 weeks. I need an answer. I didn't have anything lined up. I swear to you, Hannah, within like because I created this like clearing, like in this space of my life, within those 2 weeks, I got the current job I'm in now. Like literally, got an email, interviewed, offer, done, signed within 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
I resigned literally 2 weeks. Like they didn't get back to me. The day I resigned, like after I resigned, they're like, okay, great, we'll give you the money. I was like, no. Like I was like, I have a job now. I was like, I literally lined up a job within 2 weeks. Like,
That is
yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So you really gotta like another thing is you have to keep moving. You have to
Yeah.
keep moving forward. When people stay stuck or they stay somewhere and they're not happy, like you don't always have to be happy. You have to look at the big picture, right? Like, is my job exciting and fun and this and that? Sometimes, but sometimes it's boring. Sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes it's miserable. But the big picture is I'm a digital nomad. I'm living in Buenos Aires. Like that's the big picture things.
Yeah.
And every time I move, it's always up, 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 up.
Yeah.
Not it doesn't even have to be money. It could just be opportunity. It could be like a new experience. But you always have to keep. You have to be on that train, moving,
Yeah.
moving, moving, moving. I know. It's hard.
Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to have you on the
Oh, it's such an
podcast.
honor. I'm so glad. Like, it's so weird. Like, I always tell like random stories, and it's just like it's nice to like think about it too, and also nice to like share with people because then it's also like you're like, oh yeah, I did that. That's pretty cool, and like you forget about like
What time you're in the elevator?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Or like you think of like you don't think it's a big deal, but like you look at these things, you're like, oh wow, it is a big deal. The other thing too with digital nomads is like you communicate and talk to with a lot of digital nomads, and being a digital nomad is a big deal, right? Leaving where you are to go explore the unknown is huge. Like people think like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal because you're literally leaving your roots or your comfort or something you're familiar with the unknown, and that's a big deal.
No, that's it. That's all I have for you. I hope that this episode was valuable, that you have something that you can take from it. Thank you so much for giving us your time and for sitting with us in all of this.
Thank you so much for asking me to do this. This is
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, I hope
Yay.
some of it's helpful.
Yeah. I always learn so much from you.
That was Petrit. If you love this conversation as much as I did, please share it with someone that needs to hear that it is okay to start over, that reinvention is always possible. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for holding space for us. Until next time.